My name is Reverend Dr. Janini Gondara Awayim. I'm proud of seeing ALPA celebrating 50th year birthday. ALPA has changed many Yolngu people in many ways. There are more Yolngu employed, Yolngu taken over in the work of ALPA. We have Yolngu Board of Director. I feel very, very proud as being a chairperson when I see things that ALPA do.
The Arnhem Land Progress Aboriginal Corporation started back in 1972 as an association. And now today, ALPA is the largest independent Aboriginal corporation in Australia. Our economic independence and success means we can invest our surplus in Yolngu communities.
We seem to be the role model for any Indigenous business across Australia. There is a future that one day that Yolngu need to be self-determination and work in their own way of thinking, you know what I mean? But building that capacity and building that education between the two environments.
ALPA in Yolngu Balanda working together since 1972. But full story goes back much better.
In the far north of Australia lies Arnhem Land.
The success of ALPA goes back thousands of years. It comes from the character of our people. We practice Madain and Rome, our law and culture. This is what keeps us strong. When the Macassans first arrived 500 years ago, they began a good trade relationship that benefited both sides.
If you go back the history of the Macassan people, we were business people, we were international business people.
We allowed the Macassans a safe haven on our lands to harvest tree pine. In return, they traded fabrics, tobacco and rice, as well as introducing the tamarind tree. It was Australia's first resource boom. The Macassans respected Yolngu land and law. In the late 1800s, the cattle business was introduced to Arnhem Land. The cattlemen did not show respect. There were many massacres, but eventually the Yolngu chased them out. The Macassan trade was banned in 1906. It was a hard blow to the Yolngu economy. Then came the missionaries in the early 1900s, setting up churches and working with Yolngu to build their communities. The Methodist Overseas Mission brought Christianity, ran the mission stores, and helped establish enterprises like timber milling, building, agriculture, fishing, and trade.
My father, Willie Waralipa, was the first ever Yolngu captain for ALPA, which was a mission boat. That was with Papa Sheppy, establishing Galiwenko mission back in 1942. Papa Sheppy was interested in to work in the timber, building a sawmill, so that the mission can use the local timber to build the houses. He also interested to build his own aircraft. I wonder how he got his license.
For the most part, during this time, Yolngu and Balanda worked well together. They were learning new trade skills. There was 90% Yolngu employment. It has been remembered by many as the golden era.
1969, I was working at the Missionaries store, and we had not like that other till, you know, and we was going like this, getting the money, you know, we serve the customer.
Coming from the mission times, we really need to acknowledge all of the hard work done by those mission people. They really did set us off with a really strong foundation.
However, in the early 1970s, new government policies saw the end of the missionary-managed enterprises. This made Aboriginal people vulnerable to welfare dependency.
A lot of the services that was belong to the missionaries, the government asked the church to hand it over to the government.
ALPA was one of the few associations that remained during this challenging transition.
Yolngu people were really hard-working people, and ALPA is very, very serious about self-determination and self-management for the Yolngu people.
ALPA paid just under $1 million for the store, plant and equipment and the stock, and paid that off in 3 years.
Our mission was to create economic independence for our people. These stores became one of the few places left for Yolngu to continue to work, connecting clans across East Arnhem land.
Getting away from welfare mentality, hands out, start working to bring the food on the table for the family. Very important, and ALPA is doing that.
Like all new businesses, these early days were a challenge for ALPA. And in 1974, Cyclone Tracy hit.
Supplies and tools. See if neighbours need help.
Our Yolngu tradesmen stepped up, traveling to Darwin to help rebuild using cypress pine that was milled on our communities. The 70s saw ALPA steadily grow and continue to create employment. But new ideas were needed to keep ALPA's goal of self-sufficiency alive. Some of that inspiration and innovation came from people like John Ford.
So some of the things he achieved: improved store performance, the idea of linking aspects of store operations to Yolngu family structure and ceremony, and the ALPA training school, which commenced on the 7th of February 1981.
Because ALPA has been so successful with retail management, they now offer a range of services to communities across Australia. There is also a retail training school available. They can provide on-the-job training for all your staff.
To improve poor diet and combat the negative effects of sugar, flour and tobacco, our board of directors implemented its first health and nutrition strategy in the early 80s. This included a 100% freight subsidy on all fresh fruit and vegetables.
The ALPA board have valued nutrition from the very start. To have a nutrition policy at that time, they were well, in front of their game, trying to influence people to eat a healthy diet, because we know there are really high rates of dietary related diseases. The ALPA board and our consultancy boards have taken a brave approach to improve the lives of their community.
ALPA is also have its own board of directors, and they're the one that make how ALPA can run. Put a strategic plan for ALPA and trying to find ways how ALPA can grow and help other businesses. So we got all the Yolngu people who are the board of directors.
First of all, when I was just out there minding my own business, I didn't know about ALPA. I now know that I'm a useful person for my people.
It took us years to understand what ALPA is all about, and finally I joined ALPA board. The proudest moment that I took as a board member for ALPA.
It's been challenging at times, but we always seem to come through it. The board is always there. They've always got the vision.
I am there for everyone, my people and people beyond.
Through the next decade, ALPA had more than doubled in size. It seemed only natural for us to share our experience with other remote retailers. And so, Australian Retail Consultants was created.
Because ALPA has been so successful in managing community stores, we now help other communities across the country to profitably manage their own stores.
See, all this staff that working in the store, they study and they can work in anywhere in the Australian store.
ALPA has enrolled more than 2,300 students through our RTO and today are offering a wide range of training packages.
So I'm looking forward to further my knowledge in doing a Cert 4. I encourage my colleagues to get a certificate in retail. They too one day might want to be a manager.
I'm finishing certificate 4 in retail. I want to be a IT manager to look after for store and for staff. And I'm lucky to work on the leadership program, give us new skills.
It's very important for ALPA. When people make mistakes, it's part of learning. We'll encourage you, we'll stand with you, and you're going to make it. Those are the things that ALPA always work with the people, and we understand where the people are coming from.
And then in 2013, we decided to expand outside of retail, and we took on a CDP contract. And I don't think any of us knew what difference that would make to ALPA, because we grew and diversified over the next 5 years at a huge rate of knots.
Our board of directors pride themselves on really listening to our members. They were telling us that while retail jobs were good, they needed a wider range of opportunities for skills and employment. We responded by diversifying and expanding our business model, and that is ALPA's Enterprise and Economic Development Division.
A bookmark came about at the time when me and a couple of staffs in Darwin head office were thinking about employment. And also there was a legacy. Most of our people used to build houses in here. We used to have our own timbers, we used to have old carpenters. The reason why bookmark became, it was to resurrect the legacy of the old people.
Well, I guess Manapan evolved. Mark White came up to Arnhem to get things done for Yolngu, to give the sense of hope. I've got my inspiration that Yolngu people can do it with their hands.
The opportunity to partner with traditional owner family groups has also proven very successful.
One of these was Dingbulu, the worship there, and also the lodge there, that are owned by the TO in Ramangini. As a board of ALPA, we're really proud to see local Yolngu doing the job, not bringing someone else outside.
Local lodge, they people work, they get job. They do a garden, they making a bed or cleaning.
Another partnership with the TO, as family now have the ownership on the business.
And we started, me and David family local lodge.
One of ALPA's goals is to ensure that our communities continue to benefit from our business. This mission is at the heart of our community service delivery.
Money that what we profit, what we get from the store, we put that money going back to the community.
In a single year, ALPA contributed over $38 million into our member communities with capital upgrades, employment, community care programs, community sponsorships, and so much more.
Get out, that's not me, get out. I'm talking. What is the question again? A good example for ALPA is, all through those years, we gave $300,000 back to the community to purchase white goods to all the 5 stores.
We don't take a dollar from the Australian government for our community care programs. They're all funded through our activities and our businesses to make sure we're looking after people that need it most out in remote communities.
What we're doing now today through the ALPA is getting more and strong here. Now the ALPA has moved, try to help the Cape and Islanders people. So that's the sort of vision and the dream that ALPA have. ALPA always want to encourage young people to still maintain their law, their ceremony, who they are, not to take away what belongs to them, you know, and always encourage them that they are the people of the land.
Future, for Yolngu is self-determination, working between two worlds with a strong Yolngu way of thinking.
It's like ALPA has a gamunungo. Gamunungo is painting. And ALPA is painting a story.
ALPA is like a family to me.
I love working here for ALPA.
Looking after each other.
ALPA means everything to me.
ALPA is my brother. It's a family. It's a part of us. We are the people who started. Yolngu did, through the hard labor and through the hardship. It's a business that started with the old folks to carry out that legacy towards this present time. And that's the foundation that we sit on and we claim on, because ALPA is part of us as a Yolngu and Balandayung.